So I will merge and center this also, so that the monthly pay for each month. Then the bonus payment for each month. Let's quickly do that. Okay. Sorry, we are increasing the length of the data now so as to help us. So then the total payments for each month. So let me just put this. Okay. Match center. Match center. All right. So let me reduce the size of the paper so that I can see them. No, so now in Excel, there is something we used to do to make our data to be easier to read. So for this particular days of work, I will add a color to the background to make it easier for me to identify it. Then for the extra days, I will add a color also. For the monthly pay, I don't want noise. So. I said I don't want noise, and you are still making noise. So I'm trying to add some colors to the thing so that it can be easier for us to. Until I send you out of this place. Okay. So with these colors now, it's easier to identify each sections. So now, let me just bring in the data for each month to make it easier and to save our time. So let me quickly do that. I will stop sharing now to make that easier for me. So I'm going to fill in all the necessary data now. All right, so can you see the screen now again?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So now I already have the data for the number of days they work, and I have the data for the extra days. So the goal now is to calculate their monthly pay, then go ahead to calculate the monthly bonus payments, and then the total payments for the month, for each of the months. So let's get started. Let me increase this to make it easier. Okay. So to calculate the January payment, in the month of January, the individual Elvis came to work 19 times, has 0 extra days, has 750 naira as daily wage. So his monthly payments normally will be, if, now this time around, pay attention to how I'm going to write the formula. So if I write if, then you check if the currently D4, that is D4. Sorry, D5 is on D5 now.
D5.
D5, good. So if D5 is less than 20, Then what you want to do is C5 multiplied by D5. C5 multiplied by D5. Okay? Or carry out C5 multiplied by 20. Close bracket, enter. You will still get the correct answer. But see what we now, let's say I copied it for February. For February, by the time I copied it, you will notice that the result I'm getting does not look real, because there is no way if it comes to work for 23 times, that means he has 3 extra days, and he will be collecting 380 naira. Do you notice that? So that means something is wrong with this formula. So if I check my formula bar, let's see what is going on the formula. Sorry. On the formula bar, can you see the formula bar? Let me annotate it so that I can see it. Okay.
I can see us.
All right, good. So this side. So on this formula bar now, you can see we have if E5. What is E5? E5, that's 23,
That's
beautiful, is less than 20. Then do D5. Oh, do D5 multiply by E5. So that means he's actually multiplying, instead of multiplying C5 with E5, he's actually multiplying D5 with E5.
19, yeah.
So it's not referencing this C5 consistently. We don't want the C5 to change. The only thing that can change is either the D5, E5, depending on the month. But this one will remain constant. The C5 will remain constant. Do you get that logic?
Yeah.
Because for anything you are multiplying in the day's work or the extra days, it must always be multiplying it with the daily wage. So your daily wage is always constant. Your daily wage is constant. Every month, the daily wage is constant. So in Excel, when you are carrying out your formula for anything that ought to be constant, there is something we call referencing. So you need to reference that thing. And to reference anything, you use what we call the dollar sign. So we are going to change our formula now. So instead of having what we have before, see what we are going to have now. So what we have now is if you will check if D5 is less than 20, then carry out C5. So since that C5 must be constant, so what you will do is to put a dollar sign in front of it first. Dollar sign, you will now put C5 multiply by D5. So D5 doesn't need any referencing because that one will be changing. Or carry out C5. Since it is C5, it must still be constant. Multiply by 20. And that's the formula. Do you get this formula?
Yes.
So the only thing that we change there is that we add dollar sign to C. We are referencing C. Do you get it?
Okay.
Because anything on this column must remain constant. Okay? Then you press your enter. So you will still get this. You can hear me?
It's you.
Okay. So you will still get the same answer for the first one. And by the time you put it on February, you should get a correct answer. So now we have 15,000. So if you go back to your formula, you will see that now it's referencing C5, even though it's changing the E5, it's changing the other ones. So by the time I move to March, I'm expecting it to multiply the C5 with F5. So let's check that out.
F5.
So C5 multiplied by F5, good. So that means our formula is correct. Now, the only thing we need to do is to copy it to everything. Select everything here and copy it down. That one is done now. So when you have large data to work with, the only thing you need to do is firstly confirm 1 or 2. If you notice that the result for 1 or 2 is correct, then you can now copy for the rest.
Okay.
Now let's calculate the bonus payment. The bonus formula is 0.5 multiplied by C5. So that C5 now, don't forget, it will be referenced, multiplied by reference C5, multiplied by your extra days. So extra days here is the first one for January is J5. So multiply by J5. Then you press your enter. Oh, sorry. I did not put equals to. Then press enter. So you can see for January, there is no money. By the time I move to February, I have 1,125. And by the time you check your formula, you can see it's giving you 0.5 multiplied by C5 times K5. Let's check K5. Yes, K5 is February 3. So that is correct. So let's check for March again also. So for March, I have 750. That means March has 2 extra. Good. So L5, 2. And that's 2 multiplied by 125, multiplied by 325, which is half of it. So that means since those ones are correct, other ones also will be correct. So we can copy for the rest. So that's the bonus payments. Now let's go to total payments. So you remember total payment is what? Monthly pay plus bonus pay. So good. So that would be equals sum. What is the monthly pay? This, comma, bonus payments. Sorry, this alone, V5. Then you close your bracket and press enter. Then let's check for February. 16,125. Let's check the formula. Q5 plus W5. Let's check it if it's correct. Q5 February, W5 February. Beautiful. It's correct. Let's check for March also before we copy for everything. March R5 X5.
R5.
So let's check R5. R5 is March. X5 is March. Beautiful. So that is correct. So let's copy for the rest. And copy this and bring this down. Okay. So that's the total. Beautiful. Total payment for each month. This is the total payment for each month. Now let's calculate some things under them. So let's calculate the total, the average, the max, and the mean. So let's leave it like that. So the total for this particular January, the total of time the workers came to office, or the workers came to office, that will be sum equals sum the range D5 to
5.
D23. Press enter. Do you understand that summation? D5
Yeah.
column
D23.
D23. Yeah. And you can copy the other ones for the rest. Then let's do the average. Average equals average. Then
D5.
D5, thank you, to D23. Enter. Beautiful. Then you can reduce the, if you want to reduce, you can reduce the number of decimal by coming to number, under number. Let me do that. This is where you reduce the decimal. Can you see where I place the red bar?
Yeah, the last column under number.
Yeah, good. So that's where you click to reduce your, so as you are clicking it, it will be reducing the decimal. So let's make it 2 decimal, please. Then let's find the max. The max is equals max D5 up to D23. Press enter. Then let's see the minimum, the person that came to work the least number of times. D5 to D23. Press enter. Okay. So let's copy it for the other ones. The average, the max, the minimum. Let's continue. Okay. So that one is done now. Do you have any question? So we can bold these ones. These are the total for each month. Any question before we proceed?
I want to know it, sir.
Okay, awesome. So this is how to carry out a payroll project in Excel. And through that, we have learned how to do some simple analytics. So now we are going to proceed to another data, which we are going to use to also learn some other kind of analysis that we carry out in Excel. So let me change this data and bring up another data. So I will stop sharing for some seconds while I do that. So give me some seconds to do that.
Okay.
You see, there was a car when she went to.
Okay, so let me come back to my. So hello, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
All right. So now I have another data on the screen now that we'll be working with. And these are the analysis we'll be doing. So we'll start by doing some quick statistics. Then we move on to do some exploratory data analysis. Then we do sales by country. Then we do top 5 products. We will check for anomalies in the data. We will identify the best salesperson. We will calculate the profit by products, the dynamic country, and which products we are to discontinue. So the assumption is that you are hired as a data analyst for a business who is into sales of different products. And they have sales representatives who sells to different countries. And this is the report of their sales over a particular period of time. So you have the name of the sales representatives. You can see their names. You have the geography, that is the location of their where they are selling to. You have the product they sell. You have their amount and you have their units. The amount they make, the money they make from the sales, and the units of the sales. So let me say, for instance, Ram Mahesh, this sounds like an Indian name, sold 70% dark bites. That's a product to people in New Zealand. He sold 114 of that product and he made $1,624. Bren sold choco coated almonds to people in US. He sold 459 units of that product and he made $6,706. Okay, so if you scroll down, you will notice that this is a very long list of data. Anytime you are dealing with a long list of data like this is almost 300 rows. To make it easier for you, what happened? Sorry about that. So to make it easier for you, you can you will have to convert it to tables. So that is what we are going to do now. So I want to teach you now how to convert a particular set of data to tables, because it will be difficult for us to analyze a huge data like this without making it a table. Do you get it? Good. So please pay attention. Don't forget that anytime you are dealing with big data, unlike all these small data we are using before, all these ones, These ones are very small data. You can easily see the beginning and the end of the data. But in a situation where you are dealing with a data that is difficult to see the end of the data, it's advisable that you convert it to table. So to convert to table, just click a particular part of the cell of the data and press Ctrl T. Ctrl T. What we mean by Ctrl T is CTRL on your keyboard plus T. Good. Ctrl T. So this thing will come out. What you have here, can you see this small window that came out?
Yeah, create table.
Create table, awesome. So it will firstly give you where is the data for your table. So you will notice that something is moving, like a green selection around the data. Good. It's trying to show you the aspect that is currently being covered. So it's trying to show you the aspect that is currently being covered. If you scroll and you notice that it's not covering everything you want, then you can click this arrow button and you can select everything. But most times, it will copy everything. Okay. Go to that side. Move your chair to that side and be watching. Okay, sorry, I was trying to attend to some of my experience. So let me take you back. Let me do it again. I've pressed something else. So now you can see my table has headers. So if your table have headers, you have to tick these aspects. If it doesn't have an header, you don't tick it. But currently our table has headers. So we have our 6%, geography, products, amount, and units. So the next thing is just to click on OK. So as soon as I press the OK button, you will notice that my data has changed. There is a change in format now. You have this blue header, then you have this small arrow you can see by the side of each. So this small arrow is what we call your sorting arrow. You use it to sort and to filter. So it makes it easier to sort your data. For instance, let's say I want to sort my location. I want to identify every sale that was made in New Zealand. So I will just come to this arrow, come under search here, deselect everything and pick New Zealand alone. Then I can click OK. So the only thing that I will be seeing on my data now will be New Zealand. Do you get it? Then I can come back again and clear the filter from the geography. Let's say I want to find the products, a particular product, all the sales of that particular product. Let's say I want to find all the sales of almond choco. Every time the sales or an almond choco was sold. So I will come to my products, deselect everything, pick almond choco and click OK. So these are the times almond choco was sold by the sales people. So table make it easier for you to do those sorting and filtering. Good. So now let's start by answering the questions we have here. So as a data analyst, the first thing you want to do with this kind of data is to carry out quick statistics. So there is something we call quick statistics in data analysis. So the quick statistics you want to quickly do is, let me open a new table and I will name this new sheet quick statistics. So you want to quickly do some quick statistics. Just like we have always been doing, you will find the total. So let's list some of the quick statistics. You find the total, you find average. Those are your quick statistics. Median, the mode, sorry, the average, median, the range. You find your percentile. And basically, these are so on your percentile, sorry, it should be first quartile, second quartile. Okay, total, average, mean. Then we've not find our max and mean. So you find your max. So let that one come. Let me move these ones down so that it will not be disturbing. So max, then the mean. Good. So these are the quick statistics that we calculate for the amounts and for the units, because those are the columns we have, the amounts and the units. If they go back to the table, you will see it, amount and units. You don't calculate total average for products. It doesn't make any sense. You don't have to calculate that for geographies. So the only one you calculate it for is your amount and your units. Beautiful. So now, to calculate the total for your amounts, like the total amount of money they make for a month, you can easily say something like, let me just use this aspect to illustrate that. You can easily say something like equals D3. Am I correct? That's D3.
D3.
So you can easily say equals D, that is column D3. Then, sorry, sum. I've forgotten my sum. Sum D3. Then you scroll down to the end to come and find the last cell. That's D302. So let's go back. D302. D302. And you close brackets and you press enter. So you will still get the total, but that's not the best way to work, especially when you are dealing with big data. Because if the data is longer than that, if it is longer than something you can scroll to check the last, it will not make any sense. So the way we do it is, since we already have our table, see what I'm going to do now. So firstly, confirm the name of your table by selecting it and coming to table design. Confirm the name under properties. We have table 1 here. You can name it. Let me name it data. Let me call it data. That means that's the data. So the name of this table now has been changed to data. And the way I did that was to come to table design. Then under properties, change the name. Do you get that? Okay. So since I know the name of my table now, I can come here and just say equals sum. Then I want to use table. Sorry, it's called data. I've renamed it as data. Then I will press my tab. So as soon as I type data, it brings data as a table, as the option. Good. Then I click on tab. Now, which column in the table do you want to carry out your summation on? That is my amount column. So what you will do is you will open a square bracket. you open a square bracket, then you type your amount. That's the amount column. As soon as you see the option like this, just click on your tab to fill it. Then you close your brackets and close the open bracket also. You firstly close the square brackets, then close the normal bracket and press enter. So this is the total now. So you can even see that the result we have here is different from the previous result I have before. That means that previous result is not even correct. So where did we get it wrong? Let me do it again. Equals some D3 up to D3O2. Okay, press enter. So that means I did not press the correct thing before. So this is the answer, 1,240,869. And you can see that is the same thing we got here. So let me explain the formula again. Just be looking at your formula bar. So the formula again is equals sum. Then you firstly you extract the table, which is data. Then you add, you locate the column by clicking on open square brackets. Then you put the amount. Then you close the square brackets and you close the whole brackets. And that's it. So you do the same thing for units. Equals sum, bring in the data, open square brackets, then units, close the square brackets, close the circular bracket, and press enter. So your unit is 45,660. Please, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Let me bold these ones. Now, let's find the average. Average will be equals average. Then your data, open brackets, the average of the amount. Okay. And you press your enter key. So that's the average amount. So this must be formatted as currency. So you come back to your currency. Now this currency is not Naira. So I will change that to dollar. So I change that on that number. Just come here and pick United States. Do you get that? You see where I changed it?
Yes.
All right, good. Then your units, calculate the average for the units also. Or you can just copy it to the right. It will calculate it by giving you average data for units. But this time around, you have to reformat it as number. Good. Then you find your max. Equals max.
Okay.
Good. Then you bring in your data or sum. Then open brackets, amount. Bring in it. Yes. Close it and press enter. That's your max. Then you can just copy it for the units. It will automatically change it to unit for you, because the unit is the next column in the table. So this one should be formatted as currency. Okay. And let's remove the sign behind it. Okay. No, it's formatting this thing as accounting. I want currency. Okay, currency $0. Okay, good. That's what I want. More number format, currency. Okay, good. So let's find the mean equals mean data, then angle bracket, your square bracket, amount, close your square brackets, close your first bracket and press enter. Then you can copy to the other ones. And this should be $0. So currency, not naira, but dollar, 0. Okay. Okay. Then the median, sorry, equals median. Good. Then data, good. Open brackets, amount, good. Close the brackets. Sorry. Press enter. That's the median, $3,437. Currency. Then the median for the other ones. Then format it as number. Then let's calculate the range. The range is maximum minus minimum. So equals max minus minimum. Press enter. Same thing for this. Equals max minus minimum. Then the first quartile, percentile. Sorry, equals percentile. The array, that's data. Data amounts. Close brackets, comma. Then you put your first quartile 0.25.
Yeah.
Close bracket, enter. So that's $1,652. More number format, currency, dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the second quartile equals
Cost or percentile.
Percentile. Good. Then data. Good.
Okay.
Open brackets. Amount. Good. Close brackets. Comma. 0.75.
5.
Close brackets. Enter. Good. So format it as currency. And it's dollars. Okay, can just copy for this. Okay, and I can remove it and format it as numbers.
Yeah.
Just format them as numbers. Okay, so that is your quick statistics. Now, how does this affect you? What is how do you interpret the data you have? to interpret these quick statistics, the total is communicating that at the end of the day, at the end of this particular sales period that you are currently analyzing, after selling 45,660 units of our product, our sales people were able to generate $1,240,869. Then the average is communicating that on the average, we are able to make $4,136. So on the average, the sales people are making close to $4,136 on the average on each product sales. On the products they are able to sell. So on the average, they were able to sell 152 units of products. Now, the maximum amount of money they were able to make in the period that a particular salesman was able to make for a particular sale is $16,184. So that means for a particular product, the maximum amount of money you make for any of the products is $16,184. And the products that sold so much, you are able to sell 525 units of that particular product. So if you want to check your table, you can go back to your table and identify the products that give you this number of units of sales. So you can go back to your table, come under units, deselect everything, and look for the 525 units. This is it. Then click OK. So with that, you can see the product that gives you the highest units, 50% dark bites, and it was sold to people in Australia. And the salesperson that achieved that is Obi Sorel. So you can give Obi Sorel an award for that, for selling the highest units. And it will also inform you as an organization to create more 50% dark bite products and target Australia with that product, because it's like Australia people, they really enjoy buying these particular products. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it gives you more money. So if your metrics of measurement is number of units you sell, then that would be a good statistics. But if your metric of measurement is the amount of money you make, then you might not bother to look at the number of units. So let's clear that. You might want to look at who made this highest number of amounts. This 16,184, where did this come from? Because I think that one communicates something better. Because you are in business to make money. So you don't need to sell 100 products. If you can sell one product to make 1 million, and you can sell 100 products to make 1 million, which one will you go for? You will prefer to go for one product and make 1 million now. So let's find the product that gives us the highest amount of money. So let's deselect everything, then pick the highest amount of money and find out. So we made the highest amount of money from selling mint chip choco. And we only sold 39 units of it. Imagine that. And we sold it to people in Canada. And the guy that did that job is Biggie Bowling. So with this now, as an organization, this data is communicating to us that we should find a way to sell more of mint chip choco. And we should try to sell it more to people in Canada. And we should find a way to encourage this guy to continue to do what he's doing. Because that thing he's doing is good. Because if he has done something to ensure that we are able to sell 39 units, and we are able to make the highest amount of money, by encouraging him more, he can put in more effort, sell more, so that we can make more money. So that's what our quick statistics is communicating to us for now. Then we can see the minimum amount. So at some point, someone actually made zero sales, zero amount of money. Not necessarily that he made zero sales, but he made zero amount of money. So as a data analyst, you want to go back to your data and find out who is this guy that is making zero amount of money? What really happens? What went wrong? And what products yielded that $0? And that $0, is it because the person did not make any sale? Is it because there are 0 units of sale? So you want to confirm that. So let's go and confirm that. Let's see who is doing this to us as a business. So let's clear the formatting we have there. And let's go to the amount again and find this $0. Who is doing this to us as a business? Okay. So this is the guy. The guy did not make any money at a particular time. He made $0. But it's so amazing. The guy gave out 135 units of this product, Manuka Honey Choco, to people in UK. He gave out 135 units of that product to return $0. What's wrong? So this guy needs to be summoned, and we might need to question and give him a query. How will you give out 135 number of a particular product and you will return with $0? What's going on? You have to be able to answer that question. Because what we know in business is that for any product that leaves your business, money must be returned, must be given in return. So, but this particular guy now has given out 135 units of a particular product, and there is no money. So, one of your reports as an analyst will be that this Ram Mahesh should be queried and should be asked what happened to the money of honey choco that is sold in UK. So that's another good statistics good information to derive from there. Now let's see the guy that did not sell anything, that did not give out any units of sales. Let's see what went wrong. Who is this guy? And did he actually made zero amount of money because he did not give out any sales? Let's find it out. So let's go to our unit and let's check for zero. Wow. So we are seeing something strange here now. This looks very strange. He has 0 units, but he returns $5,306. What's wrong?
Yeah.
This is good for the business, but it should also be questioned. How can you not make any sale and you are returning $5,000? So what is the issue? What really happens? You need to be able to answer us. Is it that some people owe you money before and they just paid during that period? What went wrong? Or What did you do? Which miracle did you perform? Do you manufacture this amount of money or what? So those are the questions you want to ask from Bonel based on the analysis you are seeing from your data. So I'm just trying to show you those things so that you can know why we carry out those quick analysis. They are not just for sake of playing. So that's the essence of calculating your mean, essence of calculating your marks, your average, your total. So why do we calculate median? Median, most times you calculate it so that you can compare it with your average. For instance, our median here is 3,437 and our average is 4,136. So the difference between the average and the median is almost like $1,000. When you have differences like that, it should tell you that it means some guys actually make a lot of money at some point, and some guys actually make almost $0 at some point. So the discrepancies is very large. The difference is very large. So, and that is why you have the median, the average to be so far from the median. Normally, in a normal data, you should have your average and your median very close to each other. But in a situation where you are having probably the maximum amount at some point, some people make some crazy amount of money at some point, and at some point it looks balanced. We will still see that as we proceed in our analysis. But for now, this is what we can see from here. What we can see from here is that the average is far from the median, which is not good. So that means there are some points where some people add some crazy amount of sales. Then your range, you want to know the difference between the max and the minimum, which is too much. It's too much. It means that some guys are not doing well in their sales, and some guys are doing extremely well. So it's looking like the data of the rich people and the poor people in Nigeria. That's how this data is looking like. So it's showing that there is a big difference between the rich and the poor. So there is a big difference between the max and the minimum, which should not be. It should not be. So we have a difference of $16,000. Chai. That's a very big range. $16,000 difference between the person that is doing well and the person that is not doing well. So you need to gather your sales people and ask them, why are you not doing well? And those that are doing well, why are you doing so well? So you must be able to extract those information from them. Okay? Then your first quartile is revealing to you the first 25%. How the top 25, the lower 25% are doing. And the second quartile reveals to you the third 25%, how they are faring. So that's your 75%. Good. And you don't need to calculate this thing should be third, not second. You don't need to calculate your second quartile because your second quartile reveals to you the 50%. That's the average. And you don't need to calculate the fourth quartile, because it's actually revealing the top 1%, and that is not necessarily a data you need. So these are the quick statistics. Let's move on. Now we want to move to exploratory data analysis. This time around, we just want to explore some things. We have started doing it already. All those sorting that I am doing before, that I was doing, are part of your exploratory data analysis. You are just exploring it. not necessarily to give a figure, but you are exploring to gather some information. So, but this time around, we want to use conditional formatting to carry out our exploratory data analysis. So, let me move this to the left. And let me bring in the data so that we can explore it using conditional formatting. So to select a whole table, just bring your mouse to the top edge, like the edge. So when you have your mouse at the top edge and you have that black arrow where you have 1, 2, just by the left edge of the 6%. Can you see that?
Mm.
Yes. So you click it. Sorry, my hand shakes. No, not that. Good. This is what I'm looking for. So you double click it, it will select everything. Then you press Ctrl+C. Then click where you want to start inserting your table and you paste. Then you can come to this control and click this point. Keep source column width. So it will expand it to the source width. Good. So this is the table again. Sorry, please, let me talk to someone here.
Yeah, like, so I have to
So, all right, I'm back now. So let's go to how do we do conditional formatting for this? So let's say under my amounts, I've selected all the whole amount. To select a whole column for your table, just bring your mouse to the top of the column. You will have that black arrow. Then you click. As soon as you do that, you select everything. You get that? Do you get
Yes,
that?
yes, yes.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Good. So I've selected the whole numbers. So I don't need to bother to check if it selects to the last. It will surely select to the last. You can see it. So I don't need to bother myself about that. Then come to conditional formatting. Then I want to do what we call color case formatting. So, or let me start with data bars so that it will be easier. Let me use this yellow. So I do data bars formatting. So with that, easily I can know the scores, sorry, the amounts that are high, the amounts that are low. The ones that are low, you can see the square the rectangle is a little bit small. The ones that are high, the rectangles are big. Good. Now, to see it very well, in order to be able to appreciate that conditional formatting, you can come to your amount and click sort from largest to smallest. So with that, you can see the largest one, we have a full rectangle followed by the smallest one. And as you are scrolling down, you can see the rectangle will be reducing to the point where you will not see any rectangle again.
Yes.
That's it. Good. So that's the work of your conditional formatting. So you can easily use it to explore your data, to quickly know to some extent what's going on in your data. For my unit now, I can do another kind of formatting for my units. So let's say I come here, select it, conditional format. Let me use color set. And let me use something I can easily identify. So let's use, okay, let's use this red, yellow, and green color scheme. Good. So on this now, the data that have high scores are in deep red. The ones that have the lowest scores are in deep green. Then the yellow come in the middle, yellow, orange, all those ones. So by the time I do conditional format, I do start from largest to smallest. You can notice that the red ones are at the top, then it starts fading up, down to orange, to yellow, then to light green, and till you get to deep green. If I reduce let me reduce the size of the table so that you can see it well. Sorry. So you can see it. Good. So that is a way of exploring your data using conditional formatting. So let me clear this formatting. So to clear format, you see clear entire sheet, clear format on entire sheet. Good. So there are many types of formatting you can do based on what you want to achieve. So let's say under my amount now, I come to conditional format and I want to just have my top, I want to highlight the top 10 items. If I click top 10 items, then light red fill with dark red, that would be the color that will be used, and I press OK. So all these ones I'm seeing white, they are not top 10 items. So this is a top 10 item. This is another top 10 item. This is another top 10 item. All these ones, so those ones that are selected in red are top 10 items. And you can call them, you can bring them up by clicking on this arrow, sort by color, pick that color, and you can see the top 10 items that will be arranged for you based on the color. Okay, so that is what we call conditional formatting. When you are doing your own also, you can try out different kind of formatting. There are many kind of formatting, a lot of them. You can have icon sets. So you can use something like this. So with these icon sets, you can see the ones that are very low are red, the ones that are average are yellow, and the ones that are good are green. Because it's just 3 parts, so you can only have 3 type of icon. You can only have 3 type of data there. Awesome. Now, let us proceed to the next thing. Sales by country with formulas. We want to calculate the sales by country. So far, do you have any question before I proceed? Okay. So to calculate my sales by country, let me open another. Let me open another sheet to calculate sales by country. Okay. So we'll firstly use formula to calculate our sales by country. So we want to know how much sales are we making in each country. In New Zealand, in USA, in Canada, and something like that. So let's do that. So that means I'll firstly have a column for country or geography, anyone. Geography. Then I will have the sales they made for the next column. And I can also have the units they made. So that sales is the same thing as amount. So let me just call it amount. Then the country, each country now. So how do we bring up each country? what you will do is select the geography, press Ctrl C, then paste it here. Good. Now, before you continue, we have repetition of New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand. We only want to bring out the country, one per country. So while you are still selecting, you click on data, you come to remove duplicates, continue with the current selection, remove duplicates, click OK. So now it has selected out the 6 countries for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. That's what we want. Let me do that again so that you can understand it. Okay. Let me use another sheet. So to bring out the number of countries, that's the geography. So you come to your table. Come to your table, select where you have your countries, press Ctrl C, then come to here, right click and use this value pasting. Good. Then let me bold this. I don't know. Then make sure everything is selected. So make sure everything is selected and come to data, remove duplicates, OK, and press OK. So with that, you can see only the 6 countries are out now. So that's how we achieve that. So how do we calculate the total amount for New Zealand alone? We want to calculate the total amount for New Zealand. So we will use our previous formula, the if formula that we used the other time. So that's what we are going to use. But we introduce another type of if formula. So this time around, we introduce what we call the sum ifs formula, because we want to sum. Let me go back. You want to sum every New Zealand amount. So this New Zealand now, 1,624 plus, look for another New Zealand, 4,991 plus another New Zealand, 3,983. So before you do the sum, you want Excel to be checking if the country is particular, is New Zealand. Good. So to achieve that, you do equals sum ifs. That's the formula. Sum ifs. Then you put your data range. So data, that's the table. Then open brackets, amounts, close your bracket. The first criteria. So the first criteria is the first criteria will be to check if what do we have here? Sorry. What am I doing? I mistakenly pressed something. Let me settle that. let's go again, equals sum ifs column, then the sum range data, then amount. So we already know the column. Then the first criteria, you are going to check the geography. So go to data, data, and you are checking geography. Then that's under that geography, you are checking for New Zealand. So you click New Zealand, B4. Then you close your brackets. Let me take it again. Sum ifs, you check for the data, that is amount. That's what we are calculating. Then the condition is under geography column, you must have New Zealand, B4. Do you get it? Then you press enter. So the total amount for New Zealand is this. So let's format it. Currency. Sorry. Let me make it dollars. Good. So the total amount for New Zealand is $2,018, $813. And you can calculate the units immediately. Now, something is going wrong. So our unit cannot be 0. So to calculate your unit, what you will do is your data should not be units. Your data should be, yes, your data here will be units, but the data here will be what? Your data here will still be geography, not products. And C4. Is it C4? No. And B4. B4. And that will give you the correct answer. Okay. So that's the unit. Let's format it as number and remove this. So in the whole of New Zealand, we are able to sell 7,431. Let's add separator to it. Okay, let's go to US. So to do US, you just need to copy this one down. It will automatically do B5. So that's US. Then this one also copy it down. It will automatically do B5. And its units and its geography. So correct. So we can copy for the other ones. Awesome. So this is the amount. Now, the question is that we should calculate sales by each country. So we already know the sales that was made, the amount of sales that was made in New Zealand, and the units, the amount that was made in US and the units, and the rest like that. Then you can sort the data by right-clicking, largest to smallest, if that is what you want. So India is the largest, Canada is the following, New Zealand, and the rest. So what I did to sort is just to click and right-click, come to sort, and click sort largest to smallest. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the question, and it has been answered. Let me show you something you can still do to make this data to look awesome. You can select this, click on the edge to move it to the right. Then let's copy what we have here. Now, by the time you copy to this place, it will return it to 0. And you don't want that to happen. So what you will do to prevent that is let me see what we can easily do. Okay. Control C. Then you come here, you right click, you paste the values. So what you need is just the values. You don't need it in. So it will be reading it like a test, not like a formula again. So now you can select everything here. Come to conditional formatting, your icon bar, and do something like this. Then you can hide these numbers that are showing under your conditional formatting, manage rules, edit rule, show bar only, click OK, apply, OK. So with that, you can have something cool like this, just a bar alone, so that if you are dealing with a big data, it might not be easy for them to see the numbers, but at least they can see the bars. So as soon as they are seeing the bars, they can easily know the country that is performing well and the one that is not doing well. Good. So you can select all this, come to your is it view? Yes. You can off your grid lines. Good. If that is how you want it, so that your data can be clean, you can come to your home. Cell styles. You can pick different style for your cells, just to make it unique. Something like this. So I'm just showing you that, so that you can see some design you can make on your cell, things like that. Okay, so that is about that. Let me go back and bring back my grid line so that I can work with it. Okay, that's sales by country. What's the next question? Sales by country with pivots. And this will be the last thing we do for today, so that we will not overwhelm ourselves too much. So let's do pivot table. Now I want to introduce you to what we call pivot table in Excel. So you use pivot table most times so that you will not have to bother yourself too much about formulas. So some things you do with formula, you can easily achieve them with pivot table. So for instance, all this formula that we have to start doing, sum ifs, data amount, data geography before. With pivot table, you don't need to bother yourself so much about that. So let's see how it works. So to use a pivot table, what you just need to do is to come to Insert, click on Pivot Table, and click on Pivot from Table or Range. Now, you put the name of your table there. The name of my table is what? Data. Then I'm using existing worksheet, this current worksheet. And then you click OK. As soon as you click OK, you will have this thing. This to build a report, something. But where you need to pay attention to is this right-hand side. So on the right-hand side, you are going to see salesperson. These are the columns you have on your table. That data table that you imported, good. And in pivot table, you have your columns, you have your rows, your values, your filters. So basically, your because of what we want to do, what we want to achieve, let me go back to what we want to achieve. What we want to achieve is, we want to achieve having the geography as a column, followed by the values, the amount, followed by the units. So each of the rows will be the geography, will be the country, and followed by the amount. So on my pivot table, I will bring my geography to the row because the geographies will be the row normally. As soon as you do that, you will see it showing up here. You can see the row label: Australia, Canada, India, New Zealand, UK, USA. So it means that automatically now, I don't need to be doing all those process of copying the geography, removing the duplicates and all those things. It will extract it automatically as soon as you bring the geography down to rows. Then the amount is a calculation. That will be what we have on your columns but this time around, it's not column labels, it's what? Values. So it will come under values, sum of amounts. So you have sum of amounts as, so automatically you have your sum. And the next thing is our unit, which we follow under values again. That's a new value, and you can have it here. So pivot table understands that you bringing units under value means you are creating a sum of them. So these are the sum of units. These are the sum of, and you can format your table by selecting everything. Number format, currency, pound, dollar. Okay. Then sum of units, format is as a number, separator, 0. Okay, good. So you can see within a few seconds, we already have all our totals. And I can just right click, sort it, largest to smallest. And that's it. If achieved what takes you minutes to achieve using formula, you've achieved it in, you've been able to achieve it in a few seconds. Now, let me move it up. Another thing you can do with this is, let's say you want to get some information. You want to make some information from this. You can actually right click on a particular column and click add a slicer. So when you add it as a slicer, this information will come out. So by the time I click Australia, it will bring the value of Australia alone. By the time I click Canada, it will bring the value of Canada alone. By the time I click India, it will bring the value of India alone. New Zealand, it will bring New Zealand alone. That's the function of slicer. So slicer helps you to do something like you are sorting. So it makes your sorting to be fast, your filtering to be very fast. So that's the function of slicers. Let me delete that one. And clear filter. Okay. Now, another thing you can do is, let's say you want to add salespeople for each country. Like you want to know how much each salesperson make in each country. So just bring the salesperson under geography and you can see what will happen. So in India, these are the guys that make sales in India. This is how much they make for each of them make in each country. This is the salespeople in Canada. This is how much they make in each country. So if you want to know the best salesperson in India, just come here And you can just right click on your salesperson, add it as slicer, then come to slicer at the top. You can increase the width to 2. Let me make this bigger. So if I click on Bafani, I can see the sales of Bafani in each of the country. Molina, I can see his sales in each of the country. Bolin, I can see his sales in each of the country. Olga, I can see his sales in each of the country. And like that. Okay, let me delete this one. And let me clear it. Sorry. Let's clear all filters. I've cleared the filter now. So if I want to know who is doing well in US, I can just right click here, sort, adjust to smallest. So Ramesh Mahesh is the best in US. Bafoni is the best in UK. Chesbone is the best in New Zealand. So I can also do something like this. Like show values as, no, not that one. Okay, let me come to this place. Then under salesperson, value filter, top. I want to know the top 3 salespeople in each country. So top 3 items, okay. So it will remove all other ones and remain top 3 salespeople in each country. Now I think this is a little bit confusing. Do you understand what I just did?
Somehow, yeah.
Somehow. Let me go again. Okay, let me firstly clear the filters. Salesperson, clear filter. Okay, so but you understand to the extent where I added the salespeople.
Yeah, yes.
Good. So what I want to do now is I want to know, okay, let me start for the first thing I did. I want to know the best salesperson in each country. It's just for you to come under amount, right click, sort largest to smallest. Beautiful. So you have the largest amount at the top, and that is Mahesh for USA. For UK, good. If you want to know the top 3, you can also know it just by using your eye. But if I want to display just the top 3, then you can come to your row label. Yes, good. Then come to value filter, click on top 10 and change it to top 3.
Okay.
And click OK. So it will remove the other ones and leave just the top 3 alone. So with that, we know the top 3 in each country. So we'll be stopping here today. And by God's grace, we are meeting again on Friday. So I will try and send everything. I did not send the last one. So I will send the previous one. I will send this one also. And I will send the raw data also so that you can use it to practice when you want to practice. Then the recording, you can watch it again to understand better. So thank you so much. Thanks for your time. And it's nice having you around. God bless you. Do have a wonderful day. All right. Yes.